What's up, everybody? Thomas here from Thunderbolt Films, and today I'm going to talk about working at Big Lots. Now, if you follow me on social media, or if you saw the vlog I did on the vlog channel, that was a bit redundant, but you'll know that yesterday, as I'm recording this, June 3rd, was my last day at Big Lots. So yeah, it was weird. After almost 2 years, so it was my last day. I finally left that job. So today I'm going to do sort of what I did with my working at Wendy's video. I'm going to do sort of a follow-up, and we'll talk about what it was like working there. So, which if you want to check out the Wendy's video, I'll leave a link at the end of this video and in the description. So, yeah, here we go. So basically, I got the job in about August 2015, late August 2015, and basically, I was unemployed at the time. I was forced to leave Wendy's, and then so I was unemployed. I was looking around for a job. I had a couple ideas in mind, and one day I was, with my old man, browsing around Big Lots, and then I saw a sign that they were hiring. I was like, oh, well, all right, well, might as well give it a try, not thinking I would actually get it. So I put an application, and then a few days later, after I put in another application for a job, they called me and said, hey, we'd like to set up an interview. And I was like, oh, cool. So I did. So I went in, and then I went in there, got the interview, and they said, welcome aboard, After the interview was over, they said, welcome aboard. So, yeah, I was like, oh, cool. I got the job. So, basically, my primary sale purpose was to... So basically, my primary purpose for Big Lots, my primary occupation, you could say, was to sell furniture. So I sold furniture, every once in a while, especially like much later down the line as I worked there, I sometimes assembled furniture, things like that, and but I was also trained on cashier and floor recovery, which I'll talk about that in a minute. So I still have one of the shirts that I had. Big Lots got this big exclamation point on the back, and got the Big Lots logo on it. So this is the Associates shirt. So, and I never got that. I have another one, but I don't know where it is. And this one actually has a hole in it. So that was usually where I put the name tag. So, which name tags I have right here. So I have 3 of them. This was the first one I had. This is the second one I had, and one I used the most. And this one I had because I usually keep this one, I used to keep this one on my lanyard with my keys, but I lost my keys, and I mean I have spares, but but I didn't have my name tag, so I found this one. It's an old one. It's actually someone else's that quit, and I used this. I found some paper and a marker and then just wrote on it. So, because if you forgot your name tag, which I did a couple times, the managers, you didn't want to do that. So, and I heard that even with if you were a manager and you forgot your name tag, you had to pay like, I don't know, $5 or $10. That was like some sort of a fee or something, annoyance fee or something. I don't know. It's weird. So, but yeah, those are the name tags, and these J Plus, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but these were for like getting the most points in a month. It's kind of like employee of the month, if you do well, and I got this for November. There's actually a tie with another guy that worked there. So, so the pros are, was the employee discount. We got 20% off, which that always really confused me, because keep in mind, Big Lots is a discount retail store, and so, you think, because things are cheaper, it's not as big as some other places, you'd think you'd have, like, less of a discount. But no, actually, I have friends that work at both Walmart, Meijer, and Kroger, all stores around here, all in very short distances from each other, but, and those stores only have 10% discounts, and even then, only on certain items, which is, I always that's weird, because those stores are both bigger chains, so I don't know, I don't get that. But yeah, 20% discount, and even then you couldn't do it on dairy products, which was weird, honestly. It didn't work on those. I don't know why, but it was good. You know, whenever I would have a break or lunch, I would often get 1 or 2 things from there, like just like, I don't know, like a snack and a drink in there. So, and it was good. It was a good way to save money, and especially when you racked up, or when you bought something a little bit bigger, like maybe a bookcase or something, that, you know, that discount really added up. So, yeah, that was good. And actually, the very last thing I bought there was for I put something down on a price hold, which is sort of like a layaway they have there, and I put a full-size mattress and box spring on price hold because I've just been sleeping on a twin bed for too long. So I really wanted to get a full size, and then it was already on sale, and I already used my discount one last time, and you know, it was like $240 for the mattress and box spring, whereas normally it would cost $269 for just the mattress, just a full-size mattress. So, you know, I couldn't pass that up. That's a steal right there. So another one was, like Wendy's, was really the people. You know, the people were for the most part pretty cool. You know, the head manager, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but you know, sometimes you kind of have to work a little extra hard to stay on her good side when you're starting out. So yeah, because she's a little bit picky on the new guys. So, but no, the people were pretty cool. There was one guy that worked there. You know, he was a pretty cool guy. He was a bit of a joker, you know, and everything, like a, I don't know, funny guy, I guess. But you know, he joked around a lot. He had a good attitude. You know, it was kind of sad to see him go, because he's actually one of the managers, actually. So yeah, I liked him. I liked a lot of the people there. You know, it was pretty laid back and everything. So you know, there wasn't a really, you know, people weren't always breathing down your necks and everything all the time, and you know, because yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I liked the people. You know, the environment was okay. So it wasn't perfect, but and everything. So, but yeah. So now let's get into the cons, and one of them being the pay. Now, I'm not a very typically greedy person. I'm not materialistic or anything, you know, or anything. You know, like most of the things I buy, you know, I pay for myself. So, you know, even food or just pretty much most of the things I have in here are mine. So the pay was less than stellar. When I first started, you know, I initially asked for $8 to $9 an hour, but they said, we can't really afford that and everything. We'll give you $7.50 an hour. So, and that was about a nickel more than what I was making at Wendy's. So I was like, all right, you know, because I really needed a job. I needed to be employed and everything. So, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. That's fine. But let's fast forward to 1 year later. You know, I'd been there an entire year, you know, and I had a lot of thoughts about quitting, you know, because of the hours, but I'll get to that. But because of the hours and everything, and you know, I was like, all right. I mean, of course, I stifled my reaction. I was like, oh, all right, that's cool, you know. And again, even at the time, I wasn't really, you know, that mad. I don't get very angry at most people, at least I don't show it. Because you know, I like to keep things civil. I like to keep things polite and professional and everything, because that's just how I operate. So I got $7.65 an hour from then until just recently when I left. And yeah, not to get too much into my personal life, as of recently, I've been trying to, you know, lose a bunch of weight. And so far, I'm down about 13, 14 pounds. So, and I'm still going. But in order to do that, I've got to eat healthy. So, and I pretty much have had to buy my own food, and you know, food is expensive, you know, because I eat a lot of chicken, a lot of protein, and things like that, and that stuff is not cheap. So another con, and then this will tie into some other points later, but a lot of people just always quit that job because, you know, it's not the most paying job and everything, best paying job you could have, you know, no matter which position you are, even if you're management and everything. But it's just, you know, a lot of people came and went, you know, managers much less, but still, you know, I know a lot of people, some people I knew personally, from high school or things like that, but a lot of people just came and went, and then for reasons that I'll get into later, you know, one of them being the pay, But for another big reason, which I'll get into, the hours, but still. Another thing I really didn't like about Big Lots was doing cashier and floor recovery. Cashier, it's pretty self-explanatory, but cashier I just didn't like because it was just not fun, because you got to deal with all the people, and then if something goes wrong, which a lot of times it did, then you just got to deal with the people, and the people aren't very polite, the customers, I mean, because they think we're geniuses, we're supposed to know everything, and you watch any retail video on YouTube, then you'll get what I mean. And floor recovery, oh good god, that part, that position, which thankfully after the first year I didn't get that often, but even still, whenever I did get, I was like, ugh. And for a long amount of time, like there was like, it didn't happen that often, but whenever I had 8-hour shifts, or like maybe 6.5 hours, I would have to do floor recovery. Now I know that sounds easy and it's not that hard, but it is so boring. It is ungodly boring. Like, oh god, please kill me, And you gotta put stuff right up, and then sometimes it's hard, you gotta put go backs back. That sounded redundant. But you gotta put go backs back, and then a lot of times things are not easy to find, or at least for me, because my eyes aren't that great, and I have ADHD, so my attention span is all over the place. So yeah, it was just, it was so boring and so frustrating. I'm like, oh god. And sometimes people would tell me, hey, or like a customer come up to me, hey, can you help me in furniture? I'm just like, yes, I can, please. And that ties into my next point, and another point, why people quit, and why one of the reasons I quit is it was boring. I mean, good god, like, I'm not saying like Big Lots, not the most successful business in the world or small retailer in the world. I mean, it's still around. It'll probably be around for a while. It's probably not gonna, drop off the face of the earth like some others have over the years. But still, it was so boring. On the days where it wasn't busy, and I'm not talking about like even Black Friday. Even Black Friday was surprisingly underwhelming. But oh god, there were times it was so boring. I wouldn't see a customer for like an hour when I would be working in furniture. And then, when that was going on, it wasn't busy, I was usually just writing in this, which is just like a notebook for ideas for films and, scripts and things like that. And I would just do that, and nobody seemed to mind it, at least from what I could tell. But oh man, it was just so boring. And I would often just pace around the furniture and everything. In fact, if you follow my Instagram, you'll see that I posted a video, like, because I found out my smartphone, my new S7, can do, slow motion, and I was just, having some fun with that, because I was just like, oh my god, please make this day go by faster. Like, I was just so dead at that point. And then the last big con, it ties into all the other points I've made, is the inconsistent hours. Now, in the beginning, when I was still in high school, it really wasn't that big a deal, because, okay, I could do this and that, and even, like, there were times, like, back when I had choir, when I was in choir and had to do rehearsals after school, or, competition or concert or things like that, I could just request those days off, and at one time. Now, when I first got into the big Signature Sound, advanced mix choir was, then there was like one time I had to call in, which I didn't do that much. I only called in 3 times, out of the almost 2 years I worked there, which isn't bad, unlike most people do. But after high school, I really needed a consistent schedule, especially, now that I'm going to be going to school in the fall and everything. And, I need a consistent schedule. I need something better, something that'll work, so I can get into a routine, because it's hard, not knowing what you're going to be doing you know, what your schedule is going to be like week to week, because then, your whole routine's thrown off. And then, because if I had a consistent schedule, I could get so much more work done. But then I like with, the business and films and videos and things like that. But it's really hard to do that, if you can't get into a routine. I don't know what to expect. I can't plan out things, or spend time with friends or family and things like that. That was really frustrating. So, and, it really draining, and, just everything. Like, and even with the hours, and even then, that wouldn't be so bad if the hours were consistent. They weren't. There'd be sometimes I'd get 26 hours a week, because it is a part-time job. I'd get, like, let's say 25 hours a week. That was my last schedule I had. And then sometimes I'd get only 12 hours a week. What the heck happened? What? Now, to be fair, this wasn't management's fault, because the hours are based on the truck, like the freight and stocking. And if there is no truck, then they have to be fair to everyone else. Because the stock people, I never worked in stocking, because, that's like 6 a.m. and I'm like, no, I don't work that way. Sorry, I'm just saying, I don't work that way. If you do, that's great. But there were some weeks where there were no truck, and then, because they have to be fair to the stock people, because if there's no truck, then they lose 10 to 12 hours that week. So they have to be fair and give it somewhat evenly to the rest of the workers, like the cashiers or the furniture people like me. And that was a shame, because I wish they would work. And that sucked. And, I can't, looking back, I can't really blame them, but it was still really frustrating. So, and everything. That's one thing that I just didn't like. That was one of the biggest reasons that I quit. Or I left and everything. So, although having said that, and I touched upon this in my Wendy's video, there were times that I kind of got screwed over with hours. Back when I was in high school, I'd say the last 2 months of my senior year, I got at most 8 hours in 1 week. What the hell? Like, I got 8 hours in 1 week, but most of the time it was actually 4 hours a week. So I would get like maybe, and even then I wouldn't really ask for that many days off, that where I didn't have choir rehearsal and I didn't have a performance and everything. Still, it didn't matter. 4 hours of work a week. Why? Although I will admit it was kind of nice, because I got to, I could still work on things here, and back in my senior year I had a decent amount of free time, so in school at least, so and out, so. Which I liked, but I gotta earn some decent income, and it was like $26 a week. That just isn't gonna cut it. And the funny thing is, when I was doing my yearly review, I found out that they were actually, because I'll admit I wasn't the greatest employee that first year, but they were just like, the manager told me that, well, we didn't think you were gonna make it. We didn't think you were gonna last that long, and everything. Those during that period where I only got 4 hours a week. So, but hey, you really turned around and you really, stepped up your game, and I did. So, yeah, and I guess that's because of all the time I missed, like, because there was a time we have these family and friends events, where we have a 20% off sale, everything in the entire store. And and those are blackout dates. You can't request those off. Well, it was April 2016, or late March, early April 2016, and that happened to fall in the exact time frame where it was my spring break, and 2, it was the week I was going to New York City with the choir tour. And, me, I can't pass this up, because, me and my mother, we saved up and we paid for it. And, that wasn't a cheap trip and everything. But luckily I was able to get it back, and I did step up my game, and I admit I did things wrong and everything. But I stepped up my game, and I did a lot, for the business. And in fact, if I'm in December, we were top 5 in the entire state, I think, in terms of furniture sales, or just, furniture sales. And that kind of boosted my very little ego that I have. And now the main reason I want to explain why I left, besides all the reasons, all the cons I just explained, it really was I grew numb to it. There were, as that went on, the days I wasn't really dreading or excited going. I was just numb. I was like, oh, I gotta work. Okay. Oh, all right. It was that bad. So, I grew numb, and I wasn't making enough money. I wasn't, doing that. I wasn't just happy where I was. I mean, it's retail. How happy can you get? Let's be honest. So yeah, that really sucked. So then I started looking for a new job, and another thing, I've been job searching, for over a year at that point. At that point, I actually, a place I really wanted to work was Best Buy, because electronics, I love electronics and everything, and I've had about 5 interviews there, but no good. So at the end, I held out as long as I could, hoping things would get better. But once I started getting numb to everything, it just wasn't. I knew it just wasn't gonna work. So, and it's unfortunate. So I put an application for Walmart, which is actually right next to my house. Well, across the creek from my house. And I thought that would be a decent place to work because I know they have higher pay. And they initially called me, and funny story, they called me on, while I was still working at Big Lots, and so I had to go and try to sneak away. And I was like, hello. They asked me, oh, would you like to work in meat, like stocking the meat or putting labels on them? The meat's already produced and everything. So, and I'm just like, yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So, I did the interview. I got the call on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, or last Wednesday, as you guys are seeing this. I get the call. They're just like, hey, we want to set up orientation, and I'm just like, cool. So, which was, as you're watching this, was this past Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday for me, as I'm recording this, because I'm recording it in advance. So, I was like, okay, I have a new job now. So that meant I had to give a notice to Big Lots, and because I wanted to start as soon as possible, I didn't want to wait. I needed to start making money now, and I'll explain why. I need to start making better money now and everything. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm nervous, guys. I'm pace, and I'm trying a bunch of times to try and get her a loan or something, but she's always doing something. And then there was one time I could see down the aisle, she was I'm not sure what she was doing, putting price tag or stickers on something. So I'm and there's 3 sets of aisles from where I was in furniture. So I'm looking down 2 rows of aisles, and I'm like, and I'm pacing back and forth. I go down the middle of each aisle, pace, and then where she was, pace, and I'm like, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. And because I've never actually given a notice to an employer. Like I said, with Wendy's, I was forced to leave, and I had some work before that, which I'm not going to talk about, where I had a nervous breakdown and then just stopped coming in. So, but I'm not going to talk about that. For people who know me in real life, I'm a pretty timid, shy guy, and I get I do have social anxiety and everything. I made the documentary, but I was pretty nervous. So, but I did it. I was just like, well, okay then. So the next day, it was Saturday morning. That was my last day. Big Lots. Everyone. We all said their goodbyes. They were just messing with me. Oh, we'll miss you and everything, and I will miss the people, and everything. Like I said, he said you will be missed and everything. And then, as my shift ended, and as I was about to go purchase a few last minute things, to use my discount one more time, I went in, I went in to clock out, and I said, well, good luck to you. They said, good luck to you. You will be missed. And she said it was great having you here, and I was like, it's been good here too. And I was just like, she was like, really? And I was just like, okay, parts of it, okay. So yeah, that was good. And then clocked out. So then I put the price hold down, the layaway. Buy a couple other things. I bought a cube shelf and some goggles, some swimming goggles, because that's what I'm doing. And then I was just like, that was it. That was it. That was the last day. I shook the guy's hand and everything. So that was it. And so yeah, that was the end of a long chapter of my life. So, and it was weird, but oh god, I'm dying. So yeah, so where am I going from here? Well, like I said, I'm going to college, and the main reason I wanted to get a new job, aside from everything else, was because I intend to pay for it out of my pocket. So, and I've done the budget and everything, and it should work out. So Ryan works there, and I have a lot of other friends that work there at Walmart, and I think it'll be better. I think it'll be just better all around for me. So as of right now, I'm pretty excited for the future. So I'm gonna work, and videos are gonna still keep coming. Shut up. Videos are gonna keep coming, and I'm gonna work as hard as I can. Everything. And once I start school, because I'm only doing a technical certificate, it's not gonna take terribly long. It may take a year and a half to do, but I'm all registered for classes, and I'm gonna pay for it out of my own pocket. So, because I don't want to go into student loan debt, because then I will be screwed. So, yeah, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the future. Finally, I'm actually excited. I'm looking forward to making more money. I'm hopefully within the next month, or within this month actually, I'm gonna be finally moving out of this room, at least moving the office studio part into the next room behind me. So I can finally have a separate space, and I can put my new bed and mattress in here. So I'm super excited to do everything. So super excited for things to come, and I hope you guys are too. And I promise more videos are coming. And I'm gonna do tons of videos. I got tons of videos planned for this summer. I've said before, but hoping maybe a new documentary and a new short film. The new short film is it's on my list. I'm working on that now. Not gonna say what it is at this point. Probably my next video, or maybe after that, the video after that, I might explain what the next short film is going to be. So I'm very excited for everything. I hope you guys are too. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're a newcomer, looking to know what it's like to work at Big Lots, so thanks for watching. And if you want, you can subscribe to my channel if you're a filmmaker or just like film or tech videos and everything like that. Just, you can subscribe to this channel. So, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, ThomasBolt1, like the Facebook page, Thunderbolt Films. Follow me on Instagram, The Tombolt, and subscribe to the Thunderbolt Vlogs/Extras channel, and this one if you're not already. And make sure to head on over to ThunderBoltFilms.club for more website exclusive content. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time. See you later.